Okay, just thought I'd show you my steering column solution. That was my Cutlass steering shaft. Last we were talking, I had cut the lower section back, and as you can see that's all sitting there loose. I'll come back to the welding of this and what I did there in a sec. That was the factory centre column section for the Cutlass. And when we were in at the shop and I was looking at getting this done, he kindly pointed out to me that the lower shaft has already been previously welded. In New Zealand we're not allowed to have welded steering columns. So I whacked through here to find out if it was, and lo and behold there is a little plug, and that plug has actually fallen backwards, but I'm guessing someone has shortened that shaft at another stage. So I went back to the guy I got that shaft off and got another couple of shafts. Now this one's got a broken upper section, this one was missing something from in here, and he said just take them and let's see if we can make one out of two. So I robbed the centre section from that shaft there. I don't know what it was out of. And lo and behold, when we pulled it all apart, the upper section was the same length and the lower section is probably about an inch to an inch and a half longer. So yeah, I went back to my manufacturer, to my power steering place, sorry, with the new shaft and showed him what we had. We broke away the little nylon locks on here. That's how we figured out the shaft lengths, and we came up with this little solution. So that's a little spring, like a leaf spring I suppose, but an inverted leaf spring, and that's just had a little bit machined out of it. Oh. So that leaf spring sits on there. I'm going to pause this, and hey presto, as you can see, the little leaf spring provides the tension. So when you slide these two bars together, rather than the nylon providing the tension, the little leaf spring provides the tension for that not to rattle in this. So again, and voila, there we have it, my centre steering shaft, which if I line up, I'll get rid of this one, hang on, let me just get rid of that broken one. If I line up this end, the centre of the ball with the two pins where that goes through, as you can see, I've got plenty of ample play out this end. What I've also done is gotten rid of the bearing. So the old shaft here used to have a bearing on it. They'd welded a bearing onto it as well, and it was as noisy as shit. So I got rid of that, and thank goodness one of those two shafts there had a double nylon setup on it. So that is the same diameter as this, so we're going to run that. So now in the event of a crash at the front of the vehicle, this part of the steering column will collapse upwards, or if I'm hitting the steering wheel, theoretically this is going to crush that way, the same as what that used to work anyway. And my certifier was happy with that. So yeah, I just need to go and reassemble. Now the easy part of that was, because we had a longer steering shaft here, so the first two, that one and my original one up there, are 32-inch shafts, and that's a 35 or 36-inch shaft, so I don't know what it's out of. I pulled it all apart, stole the lower section out of it, so that is the lower section out of my other shaft, or out of that shaft, and then I just welded on a small section up here to allow that to join up, so that this shaft here goes up the inside of the shaft that goes up through there, and that will allow me to run my factory 58 mount over that shaft. So yeah, that's all basically done. I just need to basically reassemble it. And that'll be this weekend's job, and I'm not going to make a video on that because again there's enough deconstruction videos of people doing all the tensioning springs in here. So yeah, watch one of those if you want to know how to do all that. but basically splash of paint, reassemble, back in the truck, good to go. And I think that's about all I've got. Oh no, we've got some new bits too. We've got some new bits. So we got the holeless cowl, so we're not going to run the holes in the front cowl. And we've got the sun visor. Got to put the sun visor on the front. We've got a roof skin. And a whole heap of window rubbers. So I've got the front and rear window rubbers, door rubbers, and a whole heap of little new washer nozzles, washer bits, for when the cowl goes on. New little water squirters. I don't know, we've got all sorts of shit in here. A couple of screws, some, I don't know, what's that? Sun visor gasket tape. So yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff again. So that'll hopefully allow that to progress. And I've just been speaking with my panel man and decided how I'm going to do my firewall and my inner guards. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks that will be getting painted, which means the engine can go back in its hole. So watch this space.